Hey everyone, I'm Nina Zeta with Sidewalker Daily, and in today's video, I want to talk about different influencer marketing terms that both brands and influencers should know about. So if you guys are new to our channel, I work with brands on their influencer marketing campaigns. So I help brands develop these campaigns from start to finish and work with all different influencers. But I also work with influencers on pitching to brands through my one-on-one coaching and like all the different programs that I have. So I'm really in this unique space where I can kind of speak to both sides because I'm constantly working with all you guys. So this video is actually for the brands and for the influencers to brush up on some terminology just so that you guys feel confident when you're in your negotiation process, when you are talking to one another. Mostly for the influencer, like I know sometimes you may get, a brand reach out to you and then you start Googling like, what does this mean? So I'm hoping that today I can go over some of the top terms that are used to help clarify what these terms are and give you a better understanding of the lingo used in our space. Now, before I jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell so that you can be notified on videos that we produce weekly on all things influencer marketing and social media. Now let's jump in. Now I'm gonna try and do this in alphabetical order. So let's start with the first, affiliate. An influencer, you guys may hear a brand asking you if you wanna be an affiliate of theirs. What this usually means is the brand is looking for you to promote them and they will be giving you a unique link. And through this unique link, you'll be able to promote the brand, and any sales that you make, you get a commission of. Affiliates are super standard in our industry. You'll see brands often offering, different commission packages for their affiliates, and the commissions can range, I've seen, from 5% all the way up to 30%, depending on the program that you are involved in. So when you are working with a brand in a affiliate capacity, you're not getting paid to post, you're getting paid commissions off anything that you're able to sell on their behalf. So my second term is brand ambassador. Oftentimes a brand may be looking for a brand ambassador, and a brand ambassador role is usually a longer term role where the influencer is being paid to promote them over a series of time. So this is not just like a one-off post. This is actually what most influencers are looking to work with brands in this capacity, right? Because it's longer term. Maybe it's a 3-month ambassadorship. Maybe it's up to a year ambassadorship. And this is when you're basically working with a brand in a long-term capacity, producing different types of content for them in a paid way. Now, the third term, CTA, call to action. A lot of times, guys, influencers, you're gonna be hearing brands saying, make sure to include a CTA. And you may be like, huh? So a CTA is a call to action. This is basically like, what are you gonna be putting in your posts that's going to drive some sort of benefit to the brand? Is it a swipe up? Is it asking your audience to visit this website to click a link? These are the different call to actions. Maybe it's follow this brand's account. That's the call to action. It's an action that the influencer is promoting on behalf of the brand. And obviously these are always determined ahead of time, but that's what CTA stands for. Now, speaking of calls to action, I'm gonna plug in one right here. If you are an influencer and you're looking to pitch to brands in a more effective capacity, then definitely opt into my 3-part video training. It's our pitching workshop. It's a free training. It's the best training I've ever done. I give away so much info in 3 different videos on how to work with brands. So if that is something you're looking to do, go ahead and click below. And if you're a brand partner and looking to work on influencer marketing initiatives, I also have a link below to work with me. See guys, that's a call to action. So my next term is the CTR, click-through rate. This is a metric that as an influencer, you're gonna wanna know your ability to drive clicks. And this is a metric that brands are often measuring your success on. So the click-through rate is simple. It's basically the number of people that clicked a link that you're saying divided by the number of people that were exposed to the link. So let's just say you have 100 people that clicked a link, that did a swipe up, that clicked a link that you're asking them to click, and 1,000 people actually were exposed to it, but out of the 1,000, only 100 clicked. That would be a 10% click-through rate. So this is something that if the brand is asking you, can you please send over the CTR or the click-through rate, that's the number that they're looking for. So remember, it's dividing the number of people that clicked the link by the people that were exposed to the link. Now, this is also very similar to our conversion rate. This is also a similar concept, right? So a brand is like, okay, 1,000 people saw this, or let's make it easy. 100 people saw this post and 2 people purchased. That means out of the 100, 2 people purchased. That is a 2% conversion rate. Now, this is obviously a metric that brands want to, that are going to measure your success on, right? This is one of the things that they want to see if you're able to actually bring results. It's really a wonderful metric for brands because they're like, okay, this many people saw it, right? These were the total number of people that saw it. And then these were the people that actually purchased. That's the conversion rate. And that is a very magical number because especially if you're an influencer and you're able to gather that information and show the brands what you're able to do, this is how you get rebooked on campaigns and can increase your pricing and working with them. Now, another term is deliverables. To me, it sounds like a standard term, but to a lot of influencers that are just starting out, they're like, what are deliverables? Deliverables are literally what you're assigned to do. So a brand may be like, you have to post 3 in feed posts, 5 stories, 1 blog post. Those are your deliverables, what you need to deliver to the brand. Oftentimes, this is obviously in a paid capacity, but you'll find influencers that are working with brands and they're doing things for trade or experiences. Maybe it's a trip. So the deliverables of a campaign are always decided ahead of time, right? This isn't something that you wing. You want it to be very, very, very clear what the deliverables are before you go into contract, because the deliverables will be stated in the contract, and this is what you need to hand in or deliver on. So deliverables is an important term because it's literally the word that is used for what you need to hand in. Now, another term you're gonna see used often, especially in the YouTube world, you'll see it on Instagram as well, but it's very YouTube specific, is dedicated content versus integrated content. So if a brand is asking you for a dedicated piece of content, that means they want the entire video to be about them. Imagine it's just like a review of the brand, right? So obviously this is a more expensive buy-in because it's all about the brand versus integrated content. This is usually a minute or 2 that you're talking about the brand and you're plugging them into an overall story. And oftentimes this is at the very beginning of the video. Basically, this is an integration and it means like, hey, I'm gonna be providing value on YouTube. I'm gonna maybe be doing bullet points and you can be spot 1 in my big story. That's an example of an integrated content. And that is something a lot of brands are looking to get in on because it's basically allowing the creator, the influencer, the thought leader, mention the brand in an authentic way versus like a whole dedicated review on the brand. It's just a little bit more natural to have them integrated. Now, my next term is impressions. Impressions are funny because people will often get confused between impressions and reach. So impressions are not unique. If you are watching a story, 100 times or watched a post 100 times and looked at it, each time that impression counts, right? So it's the number of times that a piece of content is viewed. It is not unique views, it's just overall views. So an impression counts even if it's just like on the regular, page. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but like this, me viewing one of these posts counts as an impression. It doesn't mean I went in and clicked it and read the whole caption and did all that. Just being exposed to it counts as an impression. Now, another big term in influencer marketing, guys, is KPIs, key performance indicators. This is how brands basically set up their goals when they're coming up with a campaign. So when I'm meeting with my brand clients, we'll often go over, okay, what are the goals of the campaign? And obviously, like, you can't have too many, right? Like, it's really just narrowing it down. So maybe a KPI is brand awareness, or maybe a KPI is Instagram follower growth or email lead generation. Like, what are the key performance indicators that are showing if this campaign was viable or not, or did well? And these are something that the brand is going to have ahead of time. Now, it's just interesting for influencers to know what this term is because this is, again, what the brand's goals are, and it helps you understand if you are helping them reach it, right? So if a brand goes to you and they're like, these are our goals, it kind of helps you say, okay, well, I think this is what you should do to help you get there. I think in general, influencers should know about the brand's KPIs because, like, for example, let's just say a brand is looking to grow their followers on Instagram and they're like, oh, can you post this? And you're actually like, you know what, we should do a giveaway because giveaways are gonna help you, better or whatever. It helps you as the creator come and give input to really help them succeed because that's what you want, right? When you're working with a brand, you actually want them to lift off. So another important term that is always going to be thrown around in our industry is ROI, return on investment. The brands that are working with the influencers, they don't just want to pay and not see any return, right? So that's why those goals are important, to understand what that return on investment looks like. So let's just say a brand, they have goals of growing their email list, and they're like, okay, we're going to spend $10,000 to grow our email list. And as an influencer, you were able to help generate 2,500 emails, 2,500. So the way that a brand would then like go in and do the math is they're going to take, okay, what's 10,000 divided by 2,500, and that comes out to be about $4. It's $4 an email. And that's how a brand is able to say, oh, okay, I'm basically paying $4 per email. This is in line with what I would want to pay. So this was a win for us, versus if like the ROI was like, oh my gosh, we're paying $30 an email. You know, this is not acceptable. So that's how they're able to measure success. And obviously like each brand has like their own ROI calculators, right? Like, and that's why the conversions are so important. Especially if a brand is measuring ROI, like on sales, they're like, okay, well, I paid an influencer this and I was able to get this many units sold. And this amount of units sold pays for my influencer and more. Like there's a profit on top. So that is positive ROI. So again, it really depends on the goals of the campaign. That's how ROI is going to be measured. It's not always sales driven. It's just based on the goals, if you met them or exceeded them. Now, my last term for today that I think is really important because it's coming up big time in our industry, it's whitelisting. So whitelisting is basically when an influencer gives brands the ability to run ads on their behalf. So what it really looks like is it looks like the influencer is running the ad, but in fact, it's the brand that's running the ad on the influencer's behalf. So if you see an influencer that has sponsored content and they're talking about a brand, 9 times out of 10, this is a whitelisted piece of content. This means that it looks like the influencer is running the brand, running the ad, but it's not. Back in the day, what would happen is influencers would create content and then brands would use that content and run ads to it. But they were seeing not as positive results, right? Because they're still running ads and people are like, ugh. But if you had influencers running ads, then it's like, oh, it's coming through the influencer. This is going to, help drive trust because you're tapping into the influencer's audience. So whitelisting is something that is super, on the up and up in our industry. And I think it's an important term that you guys are aware of. And again, if you're an influencer and you need help figuring out how much to charge for whitelisting, you can reach out to me below and I can help you decide that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was jam-packed with so much info. I'm so excited about it because I think it helps us all get in a really good headspace about learning. If you guys want more information and are looking to join my live Zoom classes that I'm often hosting or live private calls, DM me, send me a direct message on Instagram and put free call, and I will write you back and let you know the next time we're having a free Zoom call or free Clubhouse call so you can jump on and talk to me directly. Anyways, thanks guys. Leave a comment. I read them all. I love going through the comments, and I will see you in the next video.